We're going to do a quick video here to show how to make chili with cornbread in a Dutch oven. First we have to start out by preparing the charcoal so that we have a fire to cook on. Normally out on the trail we would use a regular campfire to start out cooking the chili because it's hotter and you'll be able to brown the ground beef and onions more quickly. In this case we're going to just use charcoal here. Once the charcoal's lit and ready to go ahead and dump it out. This is a little early in this case, but I was in a hurry, so we pulled out the gray charcoal and put it underneath the pot and let it heat up while I went and got the ground beef and chopped onions. So now that the pot's hot, we'll throw the ground beef in, chop it up a little bit, start browning it just the same way you do on the stove at home. After the meat's browned for a while, go ahead and throw onions in. In this case I like a lot of onions, so you can see I kind of overloaded the chili with onions. The ground beef wasn't completely browned, but you can brown the onions at the same time. When you do it this way, you probably don't want to drain the fat because a lot of the flavor ends up in the fat. And we're out on the trail anyway, so a little bit of extra fat is probably not going to hurt anybody. So go ahead and stir those, get the brown onions and ground beef browned, and we're going to fast forward ahead here. Once they're browned, you're going to want to go ahead and add your spices to it. Now the trail boss or grub master, whoever it is out on the trek, is probably going to hand a packet of seasoning, but in my case I'm going to add my own. First add some cumin and some thyme, a little bit of black pepper, and then definitely it's going to need some cayenne pepper to go along with give it a little bit of kick. Then some salt. Yeah, pretty simple. We'll stir it up. Probably add a little bit of sage later on. And definitely a lot of garlic. So go ahead and stir that up. Now I got a couple of little secret ingredients I add. I add a little bit of soy sauce, kind of adds a little depth to the flavors. And then the other thing I like to add is some vinegar. You'll see that later on, a little balsamic vinegar. So we're going to go ahead and throw the tomatoes in. Beans, I like to put in a couple different kinds of beans along with some tomato sauce. So you see we've got black beans first. These are some pinto beans. Drain a little bit of the juice out. A little more tomato. And lastly, we'll add some white beans to the mix. A lot of this I'm just doing by eye. If it looks right, then I've got enough stuff in there. In this case, it looks about right now. The balance between tomatoes, chili, onions, pepper. So here's the vinegar going in to kind of brighten it up and add a little more depth of flavor to it. Now I'm going to let this go and start heating. It needs to be boiling before I add the cornbread, so I'll throw the coals here on top and leave that while I go mix up the cornbread. Now you can see that it's boiling pretty good there, so we'll give it a quick stir, and then we're going to go ahead and put the cornbread right on top. Just kind of evenly disperse it out there. As it cooks, it's going to kind of cook together and make a nice cornbread over the whole top of the chili. Once you have it all in there, put the lid back on and let it cook for about 20 minutes and everything will be ready to go. So here we are 20 minutes later, pull the top off, and you can tell by kind of tapping on the cornbread whether it's done or not. If it's springy and bounces back up, it's done and you're ready to go. Enjoy.